know Jeff through Brooklyn Elite. I've been in contact with him for a couple of years. You know, he recruited me out of high school when I was playing for Champlain, CJ Champlain, St. Lambert. Also, I worked out with him throughout my whole basketball career, pretty much. For me, playing in the NCAA, it was kind of similar, the intensity that he wanted to play at, just because we play like that down in the States, and it's always at a high gear. You know, we're always supposed to be intense.
And what I like about Coach Jeff is that he always makes sure you give it your all, and he shows us that no one's gonna give it to you. It's not gonna be easy. So you always have to go after each other. If it's a team practice, you always have to push your teammates. If you're playing a one-on-one or if you're scrimmaging, you know, you have to get into push your teammates. Just push your teammates all the time. Push whoever's around you. So that's in order for you to get better and your teammates also.
Jeff teaches intelligent basketball. He wants to transfer his knowledge. He wants you to make your teammates better. He wants you to make yourself better. He wants you to play basketball the right way, which is the intelligent way. So the way he's passionate, it's just hard to not want to work as hard as him. So I just thank him for that.
Hi, my name is Anthony Cambria from All-Star Basketball. I had the chance to sit down with Coach Jeff Dosado, one of the best player development coaches. Let's get to it. I'm currently sitting with one of the most sought-after player development coaches, Jeff Dosado. Jeff, how are you?
Very good, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing great, thanks. So firstly, I want to welcome you back in Montreal. So how does it feel being back home?
Oh, it's great. I mean, other than it being a little colder than I would like it to be, it's always a pleasure to be back home with friends and family. So it's nice. It's a nice feeling.
That's great. So we're gonna talk, and I'm gonna bring you back to the past for this first part of the interview.
Sure.
So firstly, many of your followers don't know your background as a player. They know mainly Jeff the coach. So
Right.
many don't know that you played for Loyola High School, then went to Dawson College, and then you had the chance to play at the American International College in Massachusetts.
Mm-hmm.
So, simple question: what
Sure.
did you do to distinguish yourself from the others?
Well, a lot of it came to my work ethic.
Mm-hmm.
I understood that I'm a little guy playing in a big man sport, so just working my work ethic. I can still think back to the days of being 17, 18 years old, driving around the city trying to find the best pickup games, and at the time was at the Rec in NDG right by Villa Maria Metro. And you know, as a young kid growing up, and you start experiencing new things, meeting new people, going out, partying and stuff like that. You know, that always took a backseat to basketball. Mm-hmm. If I had heard of a pickup game even that was going to be played one snowy night, I'd drive an hour just to go play basketball with the best people I could. So as far as what I did different, I really just worked at it. I figured if I'm going to do and devote a lot of time, or if I'm going to devote time to playing basketball, I might as well be good at it.
So we got the chance to have a conversation
Sure.
together, and you mentioned a lot about your parents. So what was your relationship like with your parents, and how much of an impact did they have on your life as a player?
Oh man, it was it was tremendous. The tremendous amount of support. I mean, I'm blessed. I'm very fortunate to have two very supportive parents, and one thing that I really appreciated was that they didn't force me into basketball. Mm-hmm. You know, they both immigrated from the Philippines here, so to Canada. So what's the first thing they put me in? Hockey, right? So I played hockey up from when I was 5 until about 12, and then I started playing basketball a little bit. And I played both basketball and volleyball in high school, and you know, I was pretty good at both. But one of the things that I really stuck with me was just how supportive they were with whatever it is that I chose to do. I'm sure if I chose to do fencing, they'd support me 100%. And one of the main things that I'll never forget is that they always challenged me. They weren't always, they didn't coddle me. They didn't feel sorry for me. They're like, hey, well, if you're going to do something, be good at it. And if not, quit, or find a way around that obstacle, around those challenges and dealing with adversity. So, and again, even well into my married life now, it's still teaching. Even beyond being a player or a coach, it's always been constant support, constant teaching and stuff. So it's been great.
So, for what I heard, your work ethic brought you to the next level alongside the support of your parents. So, what was the transition like playing basketball in Canada to the United States?
That was huge difference. I mean, I'm sure as most young Canadian kids, we always like to play at the highest level as we can, and it was really eye-opening. I mean, at the time when I was young, AAU wasn't a big thing, so there weren't many teams in Montreal taking kids down. So there's only a select, maybe one or two at the time. So I didn't have much exposure to playing kids in the U.S. And when I finally got there, it was funny. Right now in the gym we have Cambria and Max Joseph shooting around, and I was speaking to Nelson just about him, and I was just saying that's how they're 22, they're 20-year-old men, and that's how 15, 16, 17-year-olds look. They're just so much more athletic, they're bigger, they're stronger, everything's so much faster. So it really took a lot of adjusting. It was definitely a big adjustment basketball-wise and culturally as well, moving to a different country and a different state and whatever. But purely from a basketball standpoint, it was they're just bigger, stronger, more athletic, all that. Yep.
So now a very serious question.
Sure.
Jeff Dosado as the player or as the coach? Which one do you prefer?
I still love a player. I mean, it was great because it's as a player, even though it's a team sport, it's all about you. But as we continue to grow, we're always evolving, and once you go into coaching, whether it's coaching a team or whether it's development, it's no longer about you. And I guess you have a different perspective, a different mindset. I loved playing, but again, as I evolved, doing this whole player development thing and coaching, it's not about me anymore. The priority is the kids, and I've been fortunate enough that the game of basketball has been good to me. So coaching and teaching is my way of giving back. It's opened a lot of doors. I've met a lot of people, and if I can change one kid's life or impact one kid's life, whether it's through basketball or just from a personality standpoint or work ethic, then that's enough for me.
That's great. You got the chance to coach with Art Lefkowski, who is a four-time conference and regional coach of the year at the American International College in Massachusetts, where you played.
That's right.
So what was your relationship like with him, and what did he teach you?
A lot. I was fortunate enough that Art, when he was in college, he was a point guard as well, which was one of the contributors to me deciding to go there. But I have the utmost respect for Art. He's taught me everything from stuff on the floor as a player, and personality traits that would make me successful. And I actually even learned more working with him as a coach, as a peer, because again, it's no longer about you. I'm not worrying about myself, my position, running different sets, finding the open man at certain times. Whereas now I have to worry about Ricky, Bobby, Johnny, TJ, about how they're doing academically. How's their home situation like? Are they in trouble? Are they getting in trouble? So he really taught me a lot from a patience perspective. My personality, I'm very aggressive. I'm very intense, and not that I'm sympathetic or empathetic towards other people, but he really taught me how to be patient and really think things through, and really connect with kids. Really connect with them because all this basketball stuff, the ball's going to stop bouncing eventually at one point or another, and if you really want to reach somebody, you really have to. I have to know Mark. I have to know Jeff. I have to know who they are outside of the locker room. So he teaches me everything. He's taught me about politics. He's taught me about all types of stuff, and it's great. We're still in close contact today, and he's a great guy.
Great. So he taught you a lot of things, but personally, you've got the opportunity to travel around the world, like internationally, different countries. You've recently become an instructor at the well-renowned John Lucas camp. So what's it like being a part of such a great organization, and what have you learned by working with the peers around you?
Everybody's accountable working with Coach Lucas. I mean, parents, coaches, parents, players, and coaches. I mean, he gets, I'm sure, him and his administration gets hundreds of emails a day for coaches wanting to represent him, and you better bring it. You have players working just as hard as, or coaches working just as hard as players. For those kids out there that have had the opportunity to teach, it's an all-day thing, and I'm drenched in sweat just as much as players are. So you better bring it, and everybody's accountable, and he holds a high level of excellence, which is great. I mean, everybody's pushing one another, and it's very humbling being a part of an organization like that and representing him, and especially because I'm working and learning alongside some of the other best coaches in the world and in the country, where 90% of these guys, that's what they do full time. Is that something I want to do full time? That's still yet to be decided, but being amongst those people and at that level is it's a great opportunity. So I'm lucky.
So with John Lucas, but also personally, you've got the chance to work with middle school players, high school players, college players. Sorry. But your resume reads also professionals. Sure. So what's your experiences with the professional players?
Well, the main thing with them, and it's real ironic, they're easier to coach. I think the reason why they've been there, or what's gotten them to that level, is that they understand how to work and the work necessary that it takes to reach the next level. To sign that bigger contract, to maybe go from overseas to get a shot at the league, or being coming off the bench in the league, or starting, or being an all-star. Those are the types of players that are more self-motivated. They really want to work. They're hungry to learn. Any piece of knowledge that you give them, full eye contact, willing to dive, or put their head through a wall for you. So that's what makes them special. Now you also have those younger kids in middle school and high school, college, and you can start to see it. But the biggest characteristic is that they're really hungry to learn all the time.
Okay, great. So personally, what are the main qualities you look for in a player?
Well, if I'm coaching, if I'm recruiting, if I'm out there evaluating, is that if they have a high motor. Those are certain things that you can't teach. I can spend 2 hours in a gym with you, teach you everything you need to know about the game, but if you don't have a high motor, that'll take you a long way. You might be a less talented person, maybe a little undersized, maybe a little underskilled, but if you have a high motor, coaches in the U.S. and around the world are being paid six figures, millions of dollars, and to evaluate the game, and a kid having a high motor. Now, is he a good kid? Does he have good grades? Sure, all that stuff's important, but if we're talking purely from a basketball standpoint, somebody that hates to lose more than they like to win. I'm not sure if that makes sense to everybody, but like myself, everything's a competition, and you can usually see that in body language. When I'm out there evaluating or recruiting kids, we're not watching the game, we're watching the kid the whole time. So if the kid subs off, we're watching him go to the end of the bench. What's he doing at the end of the bench? Is he engaged? Is he towel waving? Is he getting water for his teammates? Those things are important, and soft skills like that and your competitiveness will take you a long way.
In the province, many are talking about that American players are much more developed than players from locally,
Sure.
on a local standpoint in Quebec. They're saying they're much more athletic, they have much more skills. But do you think there's something lacking in the province? And if there's something lacking, what could you do to change it?
Well, the biggest thing that I've noticed is between the ages of 10 and 15, and I've been fortunate enough to see a lot of talent in a lot of different cities. Between the ages of 10 to 15, I think Montreal is pretty comparable to all the other cities that I've been to.
Okay.
But I really think, without offending anybody in the nicest way possible, Between 16 to about 18, I think there's a huge drop off, and I think that's partly due to the level of coaching that's around. There are some great coaches in the province that have been around way longer than I have, and I think to make things better, I think there has to be some sort of community within coaches. You have your Olgas, you have your Trevor Williams, you have your Wayne Yearwoods, Eddie Pamakala, Jacques Pema. You have all these coaches that have been here for a long time, and then you have your younger coaches. You have your Mike Chmielewski, you have your Rasko Popoviches, you have you have the Brookwood staff, you have your Sun Youth staff, and I think there should be not only development for players. There's got to be something for coaches. One thing that's real different is that having coached in the U.S. and dealing with coaches, it's like a fraternity. One of the lasting things that you'll hear if you speak to any coach in the U.S. is, if there's anything I can do for you, let me know. I'm not quite so sure why there's a hesitance to share information. I look at it from a big picture perspective, whereas if I run a play that you like or a set or something, I'll ask, and it's not like anything's a secret, with video and scouting. I know you don't need me to tell you. I know that Mark likes to run a backdoor set out of a timeout. I should know that as a coach. If I'm an opposing coach, I should know that. And I think there should be more sharing. I think there should be a lot more sharing, because if I were to open a school up, I'm not looking for the best students. What would you look for?
Personally,
look for best teachers.
Exactly.
Look for the best teachers, right?
Exactly.
So how do you become a better teacher? You're always out there learning. You always have to be out there. I have no shame in asking, a high major Division I coach about attending his practices. When I was in Springfield, I'd go to UMass practice. I'd go to different practices. I'd go to the Springfield Armor practice just to learn. Now, if I'm out here and I see a midget girls team run something, hey, I'm going to ask him or her, And I think there's a lot of different people trying to do their own things separately. But I think if there's more collaboration with all the past coaches and young coaches coming up, if we have maybe a mentorship program, a development process, hey, I'd open my wallet to hear all those coaches that I named just put on a clinic. Now, is that going to change in a day, a year? I'm not sure, but I think that's the biggest issue right now, is that people have to really work together, and that goes for everybody. Every AAU coach, every university coach, if you're a coach, period, I think you should have a say. I mean, there should be a structure in place to help develop that, because the talent is there, and if all we're lacking is knowledge and teachers, then let's cultivate that.
So now, only looking at the players, you played in the States, you played in Canada, you coached in the States, and now you're going to start coaching this upcoming week.
Sure.
So what could you say is the main differences between an American player and a player from Quebec?
I just think it's their work ethic. I think right now, and this is globally, this is not just only in Quebec. I'm not, kids in Quebec, are and the issues that lie all over the U.S. is that culturally, kids are too nice to one another. They don't really like to compete. I think we're at an age of where kids aren't really disciplined, and where kids are given 8th place medals. And if you want an 8th place medal, then go play at your local YMCA league. And I think kids have to be hungrier. If you're my friend and we're playing with one another, it's not going to be me, or I'm going to make you work for it. You know what I'm saying? So I think there should be more. We have to cultivate that competitiveness, and I don't think that we're helping competitive sports like basketball grow. I think we're stunting it by giving everybody a medal, everybody a trophy, and that's not necessarily what competitive sports is about. But the main difference is that I think that killer instinct is lacking a little bit, and kids really just have to compete more. You can be friends off the court. It's great, and I think kids have to learn to understand that, and players in general, that you're in a competition, you know, and if it's not me, it's you. If it's you, it's not me. It's got to be somebody. You know, I want to play, so I'm going to make sure my butt's on the court. And if that means having to push you around a little bit, you know, talk some smack to you a little bit, then sure, I'll do that. I'll try and get that edge, but that's what you need a little bit more of.
So for you, really developing their killer instinct is really
Sure.
a main element to switch up or around the province.
Yeah. I mean, just pushing kids,
Okay.
pushing kids. You need to be there. There's a lot of, and you can't fault the kids. The kids are there. They want to learn, but you just have to teach them how to work.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I can't teach them. I'll teach them certain drills. I'll teach these kids certain you know aspects of the game that'll take with them. But at the end of the day, if you're doing something half intense and not being pushed to the point of failure, then come game time, then hey, you know, it's not something that you're used to. You know, and I think you need to, like most coaches, you play how you practice. We all say it all the time, but if you create that environment and that culture within your organization, within your small workout group, then everybody benefits.
So finally, Jeff,
Sure.
what pushes you to just always transmit your knowledge to the kids, and what pushes you and makes you wake up saying, today I'm going to go to the basketball court and actually teach and change a kid's life?
Opportunity. Again, the game has been very good to me. You know, a small Filipino kid to immigrant parents, coming to a new country. Well, I was born here, but when my parents came, for me to end up getting a free education, and it opened doors at, you know, in college. That's where I met my wife. So now we're together, and then now all these different things that are happening with basketball are very much possible for anybody, really. I mean, you know, little guy in a big guy sport. You know, I was smart. I was very aggressive. I shot the ball well, but to be honest, not to downplay my ability, I don't think I was exceptional. And for certain kids that, you know, it pushes me to see some kids or give them the opportunity to maybe experience something like that. Again, I've seen certain places in the world. I've met certain people. I've met different people, all because of basketball, all thanks to basketball. And if I can have that impact on somebody, you know, hey, I've done my job. You know, again, it's not about me. It's not about me. It's all about the kids, all about the players, and opening certain doors for them, and hopefully they can key off that ethic.
So Jeff, I want to thank you for
Sure.
taking your time with us.
My pleasure.
Just let the viewers know how they can follow you and your upcoming events.
Well, I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Coach Dosado, and our the Association Basketball Company account, that's at Association Basketball Company on Instagram. So a lot of things to be happening coming soon, and hope to find myself back in Montreal. So thanks for all the opportunity.
Thank you.